Mr. Fosburgh, I want to ask you a question. If you could talk, you mentioned this in your opening testimony. I was hoping you could talk a little bit about the North American model of wildlife conservation. How is it different from management in other parts of the world, and what that means for the average hunter who may not be of means, and how that is different from many places we see around the globe?
Yeah, I mean, we sort of take this for granted over here, but you have to really look at, sort of how Fish and Wildlife is managed in other places. I mean, it's still, you go to European countries, England, and, the fish and the game belong to the, landed gentry largely. It was never, has not been for, centuries, a common man's sport. And over here, that's very different. And I think you really saw that back to the, sort of frontier mentality, and we settled America, but also folks like Theodore Roosevelt, who really believed that the public lands, the hunting and fishing, were fundamental of what it meant to be an American. And, when you can go any walk of life, any means, you can go out there and you can get a license, you can get a tag, you can go out and pursue fish and game. You don't have to be able to afford a fancy hunt or a high fence ranch or anything like that. Anybody can do this. And I think that's why we have such great resources in this country, because it incentivizes everybody, including the 40 million Americans that hunt and fish, to get out there and take care of that resource. And I think that, you look at the work that Ducks Unlimited, Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, Turkey Federation, all those groups do, that is done because those guys can get out there, those guys and women can get out there and participate in this sport. But it's something that doesn't take care of itself. We have to nurture that, we have to encourage it, and that gets tougher and tougher as we get more competing demands on our people, but also on our lands.
Well, I want to thank you for pointing that out, because it really is unique in the world. It's the envy of the world because it has been so successful. People forget there was a time when whitetails were incredibly uncommon across the East, when elk were extinct in New Mexico. And that is far from the case today. In fact, if anyone wants to visit New Mexico, I would remind them that permits on the Game and Fish website are due on the 18th of this month, so you better get your applications in.